I just want to defend registrar voters out there. I'm a registrar voter in Connecticut, and we don't just willy-nilly pull people off voter rolls. Every January, and this is Connecticut I'm talking about now, and New York is obviously different, we send letters to people who have not voted in 4 years to let them know that they're risking being purged from the rolls.
Right.
So if you're an active voter, you're not going to get that letter, and you're always going to be able to vote. The problem is we have a lot of people who move, or like college kids, they leave the area, they register somewhere else. And so after a certain amount of time, we don't pull them off. I just want to be clear. It's very difficult to pull somebody off, but we can make them inactive.
Right.
And if you're an inactive voter and you show up at the polls, we can reinstate you and let you vote.
In Connecticut.
Okay, this idea that people are being purged just willy-nilly is very misleading. And the other problem that I see, and I live in a town with mostly, single residences. When you're in cities and people are renting and they move around a lot, it's hard for us to keep track of you, and it's kind of behooves the voter to kind of keep track of their own registration.
Right.
Now, again, it's very difficult, at least in Connecticut, to take somebody off the voter rolls. And we try to make very, very clear that you need to make sure that you're going to just vote. Everybody should vote. But you'd be surprised how many people have been on the rolls for years and never actually voted. And so rather than keep all of these non-voting people on our rolls, because everybody wants us to keep our rolls up to date between deaths and moves out of towns, and we get notifications from other states that people have moved out of town, so we can help them with that. But it's very difficult. It's not like we just, willy-nilly, you're not a registered anymore. That just is not.
No, I understand that. And that's why it's so confounding that the mayor of New York right now is saying he wants to know what's going on. Why did 126,000 voters in one county, get purged?
That should be looked into, and that is suspect. However, the other thing with provisional ballots are usually given to people because we cannot establish that they live where they say they live.
Right.
And so if people, everybody wants, voter fraud, but there's the other side of the coin is you have to be able to tell us you're a bona fide resident of where you say you live.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? You do that with a utility bill. You do that with a driver's license. You do that, it doesn't have to be a picture ID, but it does have to be something with your name and your address at that location that you say you live at.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing, but I just wanted to make sure that, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No, I don't disagree. I think that ironically enough, the states that have there is you can do this mathematically fairly simply. The larger the African American population in a state, the more likely that state is to have aggressive voter suppression laws, and largely as a result of Republican efforts. And ironically,
I can totally agree with you.
Ironically,
my daughter lives in Alabama, and I've seen some nasty crap going on down there.
Yeah, and ironically, one of the whitest states in the nation. Exclude the Native American population, which, but ironically, one of the whitest states in the nation and one of the most Republican states in the nation is North Dakota. And in North Dakota, you don't have to show ID. You can register the day you vote. All you have to do to register is show, basically a phone bill, a utility bill, something that shows that you live there, and pretty much any kind of ID to demonstrate that you are who you are. I mean, it's not even specified. It's up to the person doing the polling. It's the least restrictive in the country, and it's large. And Republicans run the show there. But there's less than 1%, some incredibly small fragment of African Americans, and so no voter suppression laws. North Dakota should become the example for the country.
That's a good plan. Here's the other thing I wanted to let people know, because I get into an argument with my cousin who's pro-Bernie, I'm pro-Hillary, and about how she's not a registered voter, she's an independent. And I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. Connecticut has an independent party. Lots of states have independent parties. They may not be independent left parties. They may be independent right parties.
As in California.
So honestly, if you're not registered as a Democrat or Republican, you're technically unaffiliated.
Right.
Now, I know nobody likes to hear that term. I'm independent. I think for myself. But actually, you're unaffiliated or you're undeclared. So therefore, it's kind of confusing that way. I'm an independent. Well, guess what? You're independent now in Connecticut. I can't let you vote in a party for 3 months. We have a 3-month waiting period between changing parties. So that's another clarification. But here's something that will warm the cockles of your heart. I have been getting a lot of unaffiliated kids in college registering Democrat. I mean, every day I go into my office, and there's more and more college kids registering Democrats because they've looked online and they've noticed they're unaffiliated, and they want to vote in the Democratic primary next Tuesday.
And they won't be able to because there's a 3-month waiting period?
No, they will, because you can affiliate in Connecticut, unlike New York, which was crazy, October, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can actually affiliate, if you've never been affiliated, the day before the primary.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Up until noon the day before the primary. And then we will do. And we have election day registration, too, just not during primaries, only on big elections.
Yeah. So cool stuff. Laura, thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome.
It's great to hear from you. I really appreciate it. To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.